Hello, people of Goa. Imagine how you would react if I revealed to you now that your BJP central government had plans to totally ban alcohol in the state of Goa. Imagine that. This video would go viral in no time. You'd share it to all your friends and family, and it would spread like wildfire. Unfortunately for you people, that's not the information that I'm going to give to you, but I would like you to treat this video in much the same way. I'd like you please to listen to what I have to say and share this information with everybody you know, because I can guarantee that it will affect almost every single one of you. And if not yourself, a close family member or a friend, because it seems to me that everybody in Goa is involved in some sort of legal dispute or other with one of their neighbours, or they've been cheated or whatever. They're a victim of crime and they're not getting proper justice. As you know full well, the justice system in Goa is not the best. It's corrupt. It's extremely corrupt. People that have watched some of my other videos will realise that everything I say seems to revolve around this one particular criminal con artist and fraudster named Aju Sindali. And that's the same case here. I will use the example of him to illustrate my point, but it's a general point concerning the corrupt judiciary, the corrupt legal system. People will also be aware, having watched some of my videos, that I have no hesitation in naming corrupt politicians, corrupt police officers. But in this video I will take it one step further, and I will follow the fine example set by Prashant Bhushan, and I will name some corrupt judges. As I've mentioned previously, Aju Sindali is a very prolific con artist and fraudster who's been operating in Goa for more than a decade. 2007 was the first case that I know about, and he's been fleecing the people of Goa ever since. He's got literally dozens of civil cases registered against him at all the courts in Goa, and a handful of criminal cases that have been, well, Goa police have tried to prosecute on several occasions. They're not getting very far for similar reasons that nobody else is getting very far. Just as an example, take a look at a summary of the case hearings for just two of these cases. Look at the numbers there. 37 case hearings. And in total, 24 NBWs have been issued to try and get Aju Sindali to court. Just in these two cases alone. As I said, there's dozens of other cases against him. But in these two cases alone, 24 NBWs have been issued for the arrest of Aju Sindali. Now, just to clarify what an NBW is, it's a non-bailable warrant issued by the court to try and get the defendant, in this case Sindali, to appear in court. And there's been, as I said, 37 hearings in these two cases, and you can see the total of how many times Aju Sindali has turned up in court. 0. Now, does anybody else find this a little bit concerning? It seems to me that whatever system is in place there, it's not working. It's clearly not working. The NBW system is designed to get the defendant into court, and yet Aju Sindali has managed to avoided entirely appearing in these two cases. How are these people going to get justice if the defendant can't be made to turn up in court? And what has gone wrong with your system? Now, I've been informed that it is a procedural issue. It's, you know, once the judge has issued the NBW, you can't expect the judge to get in his or her car and to go and follow it up and do the arrest themselves. That is the job of the police. But surely to God, the judges should be a bit more astute and aware as to the person they're dealing with. You know, Adju Sindali, he has to go and cancel these NBWs in person. He can't get his lawyer to do it. So whenever these 24 NBWs have been issued, he's had to go and stand in front of the judge and get the NBW cancelled. How do you think he's doing that? Well, one way he's doing it is giving a load of fake excuses. Like, for example, fake medical certificates. He gets these. One example is a Dr. Lucas Montero. Adju Sindali pays 500 rupees to get a fake medical certificate from Dr. Lucas Montero, for example. Here's Montero using his grubby little fingers in his grubby office to count his pile of ill-gotten cash. So that's how Sindali gets his fake medical certificate. He bribes a doctor. And the judge will look at the fake medical certificate, not think to question it, not think to phone up the doctor and find out what's going on. If they did that, or if somebody was doing that, they would realise that there was, you know, something not quite right. I'll give you one more, even more extreme example than that. In a court in Faridabad, he failed to appear one time and he sent his lawyer with the excuse that he was in jail in Goa, so he couldn't attend court in Faridabad. Now all the Faridabad court needed to do was pick up the phone to the place where Sindali was supposed to be incarcerated and say, do you have this man in jail? But nobody did that. And because he gave this fake excuse and nobody checked up on it, he got his case adjourned, and he pretty much did the same again the next time. Adju Sindali is the master of delay. That's one of his tactics. He will delay, but also he uses a tactic of confusion. And the way he does that, he will file a fake case against his opponent just for the hell of it, just to submit a ream of paper like that to the courts to confuse the hell out of them. Now, I've said in other videos, I've been and sat in the courts and I've observed proceedings, and it's disgraceful. You can't expect a judge to keep track of what's going on when, first of all, they see about 40 or 50 cases in one day. How the hell are they expected to keep track of one particular case? But on this occasion, it should be fairly easy to keep track of Sindali because he's a regular visitor in all the courts in Goa. Now, I said I was going to name 3 corrupt judges, and this is the time to do that. Please take a look at these 3 people. I will name them shortly. Firstly, what do you notice about them? Because the thing that immediately springs to my mind is their age. These are judges in Goa. Not very old, are they? Do you think these people are wise? Do you think they're intelligent? They could be intelligent. One of these judges in particular has got a very fine track record of academic achievements. And this is the first one, Pooja Kavlekar. As I said, she did very well at school, very well at college. But I'm willing to bet that she has some very rich parents who have sponsored her career, including getting her into the job. I've made this similar accusation in another video about how police are recruited. I was shot down by a couple of people saying, oh no, it doesn't work like this anymore. Those days are gone when people pay to get government jobs such as police. I know this still happens. I know this happens for any position such as, I don't know, collector, deputy collector, mamladar, anything like this, a judge. They have to pay to get the job. So what better way of a rich set of parents getting, you know, very high status for their extremely intelligent son or daughter than to buy them a position as a judge. I'm willing to bet that this is what's happened with Pooja Kavlekar. So what about the other two? Urshad Agar, he is the principal district judge for North Goa. Obviously he's got very high level of academic achievement to get to that job. Either that or his parents have paid a lot of money. I think it's the second one. Incidentally, I know perfectly well how your education system works also. Any fool with rich parents can get top academic achievements. They get the top academic achievements in exactly the same way they get themselves as a judge. Money. And in Goa, if you have money, you can do anything you want. So, principal district judge, this youngster, relatively young guy, is in charge of all these other judges. He's in charge of Pooja Kavlekar. He decides what cases she gets. So, what about this third judge? Shabnam Sheikh. I know, because I have reliable sources and reliable information, that she is extremely corrupt and extremely greedy. She also has very rich parents, no doubt. But the strange thing about this lady, she's got the same parents as the other guy, Mr. Agar. They are brother and sister. Now the reason I'm telling you this is vitally important. This is not permitted. These two judges, Agar and Sheikh, are brother and sister. They are not permitted to be judges in the same district. So who's allowing this? It's only by virtue of the fact that her name, presumably a married name, is Sheikh, so nobody makes the connection. But Sheikh is the sister of Urshad Agar, the principal district judge. It's not allowed. But I'll tell you what happens with this little trio. Urshad Agar gets to decide, as I said, who gets what cases. So he gives all the lucrative cases to his sister, the greedy one, who takes all the money. Wonder why he does that. Is he getting a cut? Of course he is. Now, Pooja Kavlekar, she's also corrupt. My reliable sources have told me this. They use the phrase that she's approachable. What do you think that means? If a judge is approachable? Approach them to say hello? No, you approach them with an envelope full of cash and say, I want this verdict, please. And that's what they do. They're corrupt. I just wanted to include a point about Urshad Agar, the principal district judge. At one stage, we saw a glimmer of hope. We thought we were making progress against Aju Sindali with the legal system. But then what happened was a lawyer named Kadam, who was Aju Sindali's lawyer. I don't know which particular case this was, but this lawyer Kadam approached Agar, Urshad Agar, and he threatened him. And he said, you back down against my client. And what the hell is going on here when a lawyer can threaten a judge and swing the outcome of a case. How can a lawyer threaten a judge? Now, the only way I can think that a lawyer can threaten a judge is if he threatens to expose him as a crook. Well, Mr. Kadam, I've saved you the trouble because I'm doing that now. Urshad Agar is a crook like the other two that I'm showing you here. Here's another little bit of information about Pooja Kavlekar. Her husband is the business partner of Digambar Karmat, one of Goa's biggest crooks, obviously. Now, in a previous video, I've already mentioned the fact that Aju Sindali is an acquaintance of Digambar Karmat. In fact, I mentioned how Sindali used to go to Karmat's house for breakfast and have his breakfast cooked by Karmat's wife. That's how well the two guys are connected. See, Aju Sindali has a lot of very influential, powerful connections. I've named them in previous videos. One of them is your Chief Minister, Pramod Sawant. Another one is Lakshmikant Parsika, your ex-CM. Damu Naik is another one, another crook. Aju Sindali has connections with Rowan County. So he's involved with all of them. And while I remember his name, the late Francis de Souza was also involved in shady land deals with Aju Sindali. He mixes with a lot of powerful, influential people. And so, how easy do you think it would be for Digambar Karmat to protect his friend and business associate, Aju Sindali, in the courts if Karmat's business partner's wife is the judge? Now, no money needs to change hands. There's enough motive for Kavlekar to swing decisions and overlook NBWs and do all this, you know, all these delays that you see and giving them the leniency that is being allowed. She could just be doing a favour for Mr. Karmat, Aju Sindali's friend. But it's this sort of activity that gets these judges no respect from virtually anybody. Not just me. There are very distinguished lawyers in Goa who refuse to deal with these arsehole judges such as Kavlekar and Sheikh that they know are corrupt. They would rather not have to deal with them. They will send their understudy into the junior courts, and they would prefer to lose their case and take it to the High Court than to have to deal with these arseholes that I've named. This is how screwed up your legal system is. It is truly disgraceful, and that's why I said to you at the beginning that it will affect every one of you eventually, since it seems to me that one half of Goa is trying to cheat the other half. You know, there's brothers and sisters feuding over land, all fighting it out in the courts with corrupt lawyers, corrupt judges, and it's basically whoever has the most money wins the case. Now, I heard this about 20 years ago when I first visited Goa, and I thought to myself, well, that can't be right. And it isn't right, it's disgraceful. And the reason I'm speaking out like this, because I'm a justice seeker, and I don't like what I see. Now, I said at the beginning that I would like you to share this video. Please do. I have nothing to gain, financially or otherwise. I've not monetized this YouTube channel, so there will be no adverts. I don't make one penny from this. I'm not looking for fame, but what I would like to do, I'd like to think that I've made a little bit of difference. So if you can, you know, if you agree with what I'm saying, please share the video so that everybody in Goa can see this, and let's try and do something about your corrupt legal system, because that is where most of your problems are coming from. In a civilized society, you need a proper legal system to protect the vulnerable, and at the moment that's not happening. The legal system, it's all set up to make financial gains for lawyers, financial gains for judges. How can that be right? The legal system is supposed to protect the innocent victim. In Goa, the innocent victim has got no chance. It's just going to get screwed over by the legal system. And that's what I don't like. And that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. And finally, a message to these three lawyers. If any one of you think that I've defamed you in any way, then please file a case against me, because I'm sure you're fully aware, for a defamation case to be successful, I have to be telling lies. But I'm confident that what I'm saying is the truth.